Hi, my name is Nikki C. Patterson. I'm an author, educator, educational success strategist, and diversity trainer with I Prevail K through 12 educational consultant. My main purpose is to help principals working in low performing schools with minority students succeed as leaders by increasing the school performance scores, decreasing disruptive behaviors, and recruiting and retaining quality educators so that all students can succeed beyond the school walls. So, normally when I come in, it's because of a question that's been generated or geared towards me. Today's question comes from the actual title of my business. It's called I Prevail K through 12 Educational Consultant, and the question simply is, where did the name come from? How did you select that name? And what does it actually offer in terms of your business? So, without further ado, let's get started answering that question. I Prevail. I Prevail is basically a scripture in the Bible that I love. And it says that upon this rock I build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail. Well, when they're talking about prevailing, it means gain access. It means to take over, to basically to just dominate. It shall not come up against the church. And so for me, education has always been my realm. That's the area that God put me in. He's placed me there. He's given me gifts in that area, and that's the area in the kingdom that I work in. So, speaking of kingdom, I like to build and partner with kingdom-minded assignments and people. One particular kingdom task that we did, I joined a group of friends, and we were called the Forerunners. Love, love, love the Forerunners. And Forerunner is basically a person who comes out before their time. They're like a pioneer in something. And so we each had our areas that we were pioneering. And so one of the Forerunners, her youth department was putting on an event, and the youth pastor had to speak. And the conference was called I Rebel. And so when we went there, the energy was it was phenomenal. And I was a youth pastor there, and he was young, and he was telling his story, and the children were getting excited, and they wanted to tell their story, and they wanted different. And so from that point forward, it became, wow, I want to do that. So what is it going to be? Well, they had I Rebel, and I was like, okay, I don't want them to necessarily rebel, but what do I want them to do? And I was like, wow. And so the scripture came up, upon this rock I build. And I said, wow, I'm not building a church, but I am building a foundation for learning. I'm building a foundation for knowledge and wisdom and for future success. So it was upon this rock, meaning God, meaning the principles, the foundations of the Bible, that I am building whatever keys God has given me, whatever blueprint God has given me for students in the public school system to prevail against any attacks, any distractions, anything that comes up against them in their education and their will to succeed. And so what happened was I put I Prevail. And at the time when I did, I was attending a church that had Prevail in its name. And so without having any confusion, I went to the pastor and I asked, I said, hey, this is what happened. I'm excited about it. I really want to use I Prevail, but I don't want it to be any type of conflict with the church. And he was like, oh, no, it's fine, And so we were going to put on a conference. The conference never happened, but we did put on a community tutoring program where I actually started with I Prevail. And so I Prevail has been around for years. It's just now growing into what God has called it to be for me. So that's where I Prevail came from. That's where we got the name, and that's how it started. Now, how does it actually evolve into what it needs to be for a business and for me to reach my purpose in the earth? Well, there's a lot of things that are currently coming up against our students. For one, many of the students that are in low performing schools, they're coming from low income communities. So there are already a lot of challenges that are facing those students, to barriers to get a good or a quality education. The other thing is a lot of those students are Black. 85% of students that are attending low performing schools are Black or brown students. That means not only are those students coming from low income communities, but they're not necessarily getting the quality education that they can get, not because the teachers aren't providing it, but because the schools don't have the funds and the resources to get all of the things that a school that has higher paying taxes or a higher performing school is able to provide to their students. And so those are some of the barriers. Well, as an educator in the school system for more than 10 years, I was able to succeed on within those barriers and parameters and help my students to succeed. And so now as a consultant, I work with principals and I show them how they can work within those constraints and they can help those students to overcome. You can't change where a student grows up, but you can help them to see, you can see to it that that does not limit where they go in life. And it didn't limit for me. So I'm the student basically that I'm trying to help my principals to empower and equip. So I prevail basically means I prevailed against it, and so will they. So if you have any questions, you can visit my website www.nikkicpatterson.com to learn more about the services that I provide in the public school system. If you want to know my story and how I help principals succeed as leaders, you can check out my book, How to Win as a Principal, which is on Amazon, or you can send me an email if you just want to reach out and say, hey, I heard the video, I want to learn more, but I'm not sure which direction to go. And the email you can send me is info, I-N-F-O, at Nikki, N-I-K-K-I, Patterson.com. You can send me an email and we can reach out, set up something, and we can go from there. But my main purpose is an educational success strategist who helps principals working with students from low-income communities, students like myself, who want to do better, but the conditions and the circumstances that they are living in kind of sort of determines or makes people think that they can't do as well as they want to do. And so I'm here to break up and bust that myth and help students who want to succeed beyond the school wall succeed, but I'm working with their leaders to ensure that it's done. So if you are a leader who works in a low performance school and you want to see if my program and services fit you, then make sure you reach out to me in one of those modes provided. You can go to my website, www.nikkicpatterson.com, or you can send me an email, info@nikkicpatterson.com, Nikki being N-I-K-K-I, or you can check us out on Facebook, I Prevail K-12 Learning at facebook.com. Look forward to hearing from you and hope you got the information that you needed as to why I Prevail was started. Have a great day. Bye.